From the station that made country music famous, 650 AM WSM, this is a Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Hi, it's Charlie Matos, and in this episode, we sit down with our friend Sammy Kershaw. Sammy joined us via Zoom from his home on the Gulf Coast to chat about a poignant new single called My Friend Fred. We'd also chat about his new baby and a whole lot more. Enjoy our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast with Sammy Kershaw.
More Coffee, Country, and Cody is on WSM.
And this is a very special place. You know, it's been around nearly 95 years. And we talk about the history of the Opry. WSM Radio making history this morning with Sammy Kershaw. How so? Ladies and gentlemen, when you think you're out of firsts, think again. The first ever Zoom interview for Sammy Kershaw is airing now all over the world on WSM Radio, WSMOnline.com, and on Circle Television. Welcome in, friend.
I don't know whether to be embarrassed or feel technology fit. I don't know what you call it. The hardest thing to do, I believe, is to look at the camera and not look down at y'all's pictures, so I don't see what your faces are doing. I'm having to look at this camera, so this will be very interesting.
So where are you?
It's already my favorite one.
Where are you sitting in
and I love your background.
In quarantine, where are you sitting? You look like you're on your porch or patio.
I'm on my back porch, and it's been thundering. We had bad thunderstorms here all night, and we had another one that rolled through here about an hour and a half ago, and we got about 2 hours to go, and all the rain will be gone and get out of here for the day. Well, not for the day, but it won't be like last night. We had some pretty bad storms roll through here last night, a cold front, you know. So I'm sitting out here. I got a blanket. I'm all covered up, and I like it out here on the back porch, drink coffee in the morning, you know.
You know, when we whine about humidity in Middle Tennessee, I remember being with Sammy doing a show. We were out at Whites Creek at Fontanelle, I want to say. Uh-huh. And you couldn't breathe. It was so humid. And everybody was just floundering. And Sammy goes, "What's wrong with you people? I love this. I love humidity."
That's the truth, man. And look, listen, I don't understand it, but for the last couple of years or so, it has been really dry. And even here at my house, it's been so dry that it's been tough on my throat. Down here on the Gulf of Mexico, it's been, I don't know why that is for the last couple of years, but this has been weird for me, man, you know. So no matter where I go, I'm always happy when I go somewhere and there's a lot of humidity and it's hot. And we just haven't seen that yet here. It's been like every 3 or 4 days, a cold front will roll through, the air will get dry again. Once we start getting up in the heat a little bit, a couple of days it's gone. It's crazy, man.
Sammy, how far from New Orleans are you?
I'm about 2.5 hours. So I'm about 140 miles west of New Orleans.
Okay.
So Sammy's on the Gulf, and a girl named Joe is on the open ocean, on the Atlantic side over there in Virginia Beach is where she's quarantined this morning.
No kidding.
Yeah,
well, you know,
sunny day.
Well, I'll be dog. Well, it'll be that here tomorrow. Tonight it'll start getting. It'll be beautiful tonight for the next few days.
Yeah.
But
and
it
then
got a
we'll
little
get
rough.
the thunderstorms.
And do what?
And then it'll be thundering here.
Oh, well, good. I'm glad you got it. Well, I'd rather have a thunderstorm during the day where I can see what's coming at me. You know, I'm not much
Exactly.
Well,
I'm not
don't
much
get
for
cocky
storms at night.
with your exotic locations, because we are sitting on the banks of the Cumberland River here. Well, you're on the Atlantic and you're on the Gulf this morning. Joe, a girl named Joe, Sammy Kershaw is here. And Sammy, one of the things we wanted to talk about and initiated the phone call or the Zoom interview was a new single, which is, for some people, a side of Sammy Kershaw that they don't know musically. And I know there have been album cuts where you have delved into some deep stuff before, but they didn't single those records. But this is your new single called My Friend Fred. Tell us more.
Yeah. Well, I started doing in this business when I was 12 years old. Started playing those honky-tonks, nightclubs and dance halls, beer joints, whatever you want to call them, So ever since I was a young boy, in my business, alcohol, drugs, all that stuff was very readily available at all times. So by the time I was 14 years old, I was a drunk. And by the time I was 15 years old, I was a drug addict. And then I was able to quit all that stuff probably 35 or so years ago, just wake up one morning and get rid of it. So this video is, and I see more and more every day on the news and talk to people every day about some friends and other people who are so messed up on the different drug abuses that we have going on now, with the opioid and methamphetamines and even alcohol. So this video, it goes towards all kind of addictive drugs and alcohol, but the video leans towards meth. And because it is a true story, the writers that wrote it, they wrote a true story about their friend.
And Charlie, who do we find out wrote it? Was Billy Lawson and Ed Hill?
Yes.
Ed Hill.
Yeah.
Wow.
And when I heard it, I'll tell you what happened. The way I got the record was, I record my music in Nashville, and then I go to, I don't know how much time we got, but y'all picked the wrong guy if you only got a few minutes.
All right, give me about a minute here before we play the song.
Okay, ain't no way I can say it. But I waited a year and a half for this song because somebody had it on hold in Nashville. And I stayed on them to let me cut it. And they kept saying, well, there's somebody got it on hold. It can't. And then one day I waited a couple of days and I called up old Billy. I said, Billy, y'all have to let me cut this record, man. He said, well, how Billy talks. He said, well, Sam, it's on all hell cut it. And, so, when I was in radio back in the early 80s, I used to go to these RAB conventions.
Yeah.
And they teach you that a person has so many no's in them. You just got to find out how many they got. And eventually they're going to tell you yes.
They did, and this is the result. Sammy Kershaw's My Friend Fred on WSM, at WSMOnline.com, our app download, and Circle Television.
He used to handle snakes in church. Perfect hair and a starched white shirt. Now he's got a hold of something he can't.
That's My Friend Fred from our friend Sammy Kershaw. Coffee, Country, and Cody in the middle of a pandemic. We talk about an epidemic drug abuse in our country. Joe?
Okay, I'm the worst interviewer ever, but Bill makes up for that because he's the best interviewer ever, because all I want to do is comment. So my comments today is that my go-to, blast from the past record is Politics, Religion, and Her. I think your version of Chevy Van is just the best.
Thank you.
And my parents' song is You Are the Love of My Life.
Thank you. That was a big old record.
Super fan.
That was a big old surprise record for me. It ended up being a number one record, but it worked for me because I was known as kind of rough around the edges, work type guy, and here is this tough guy singing this love song, and that's why it works.
That's why it works.
That's why it works.
Speaking of love songs, we got about 30 seconds to wrap here. Your love song these days, is, along with wife Mindy, is Natalia Mae Kershaw, age 7 months.
Yeah, Natalia is she's something else, man. We just had to wake her up a few minutes ago, and she just kind of laid there and just looking at me like, what? When does the bus get here? And I told her mama right then, I said she's going to be just like her daddy, because in the mornings, you got to wake her up. I didn't want to go to school in the morning, so I'd lay in bed till the last second and then get on to school. But she's going to be the same way, but she's such a good little baby. Never cries. She's
named after the grandmothers, and that's how they got the name.
Right.
Natalia Mae Kershaw.
That's right.
And that's Sammy Kershaw. Hey, we got to run. Thank you, buddy.
Thank you all very
Thanks,
much.
Sammy.
I appreciate your time. Bye-bye.
Thanks for listening to our Coffee, Country, and Cody podcast. Our program director at WSM Radio is J. Patrick Tinnell. Our digital producer is Haley Hall. Marketing and promotions director is Amanda Cannon. And I'm Charlie Matos. If you like what you've heard, make sure you subscribe so you never miss an episode. And leave us a review on iTunes. It really does help new people find the show.